Sandra is an experienced BA with over 25 years experience working in the financial services, and she's also worked in the post-secondary education industry. She has held multiple roles within the business analyst job family, and Sandra is excited about the work and loves to share what she has learned during how many years. Now, this is a very good opportunity for Sandra to, impact us with nuggets, that will help us. So she'll be talking about how you can excel in your current role as a BA. So what are those skills that you need? How should you navigate office politics? How do you stand out? How do you manage conflict in the workplace? So Sandra, over to you, and we are ready to learn. Thank you.
I'm on mute.
You're on mute, okay.
Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. I'm going to get a t-shirt of that for the end of after all of this, because I'm the one who's doing the constantly on mute. So I'm just going to go.
Okay. Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay, perfect. So just to give a little background, what I thought about doing is kind of going through some of those soft skills that really help on the kind of that day-to-day work, or how to help you succeed in different situations. So the objectives are outlined. I want to start with what happens when you get the job. So what is that first day or first few days like, that kind of piece. I also want to talk about soft skills versus technical skills. And then I want to talk about some skills for success. Oh, sorry.
Sorry for that.
Is that a background? Okay. And also some other thoughts. And then if there's any questions, we'll, as Harry said, we'll probably do those a bit after. This is all from my experience. So if something doesn't sit right, or you think about something else, or want to ask a question about something, please, these are just things as a manager and a team member. These are skills that I look at. So first things first, congratulations, you got the job. You are starting in a new situation. It might be your first job in Canada. It might be your 20th job. But for the first few days, like, it's okay to be nervous, and everybody will expect that, because it's a new situation. You're having to learn everything. You're having to meet new people. And it can be, I think people can kind of worry about that. They worry about a few things, but it's okay to be nervous. Just go with it. One thing I find is get familiar with the organizational structure. Ask if there's an organizational chart, or have your manager sit down and provide an outline of that. It's really helpful when you're meeting people to kind of understand where they fit in the organization and how they fit in with what you are going to be doing. So for example, if they work in Department A, and Department A might send in some information requests, but someone from Department B would always be project, and they're your client. So one stakeholder is Department B. It helps you kind of gain an understanding of what that will look like. Ask questions. Don't worry about asking questions that you think, oh, it's probably simple, I should know this. Ask questions. It's hard the first week. There's a lot that's going to be coming at you. Take your time. Ask the question. And don't be afraid to ask it multiple times, because it's all new. And, everybody's been there. So who your manager is, who your coworkers are, they've all been there. One thing I find with every organization is the dreaded acronyms. So I've only worked at one organization where they actually provided an online acronym dictionary so that for anybody new, if somebody mentions acronyms in meetings or whatever, you could go to that and look at it. Ask if there's something out there. If not, start building one. I always start typing one up in Excel or start writing it up in, in the back of a notebook. In a couple of weeks, you'll be using them. Like, you'll get it. It's just, I find that everybody starts using them, and it's really hard for new people. I find it hard every job. Introduce yourself. Make yourself known. If you're in the lunchroom, if we ever get back to work, if you're in the lunchroom, if you're around, introduce yourself. And the last thing is dive in. Dive in with both feet. Enjoy it. Get to know the job, get to know the people, get to know the team, get to know your manager. Enjoy it. Just dive in. The next topic I want to talk about is soft skills. So as a manager, when I'm reviewing resumes, I'm kind of looking at, okay, what are the technical skills that you're bringing to this? So we've outlined that in the job description. I want to make sure that when I'm looking at the resumes, there's a fit. So if I'm looking for process, mapping processes or adding efficiencies, I want to see if there's something in that resume that's, I've done process modeling with UML and all this stuff. That kind of gives me an idea that you've done that work. What I look at in the interview is also some of the soft skills. So when you're giving responses, are you showing that you are a team player? Are you showing that you have initiative? So it's those two things that I think a manager is really looking at. It's the marriage of those two components. What I'm going to do now is just talk about some of those soft skills that I consider as a manager, ones that I look for. So the first one is communication. It's the ability to communicate in a concise and thoughtful manner. And it's communicating, it's listening so that you're not worrying about what you're going to say, but you're listening to what the problem is, what the other person is saying, and trying to understand what's going on. It's a new world. We are looking at, communication skills are so important right now because we have to switch. And now we're communicating by Teams, by text, Teams messaging, email. And you want to make sure that you're getting your message across, because now that we have many more opportunities for communication, we're also adding more ways to be misunderstood. So take the time, review your message, make sure it has the right tone, the right information, and you're laying everything out correctly. And another thing is, and this is something that I've kind of learned going along, is being comfortable in a variety of situations, like speaking to senior managers versus speaking to my peers, speaking in front of a large group, speaking in front of a small group. It's things that you'll get comfortable with, but it is important to kind of focus on that. The next item, the next skill is adaptability. Successful employees, they're able to adapt to new work arrangements, new priorities, shifting priorities, completely changing priorities, and also organizational changes. We are in industries now that things do not stay the same, and change is the norm. It's going to happen. So understanding that makes it so much easier to kind of like, okay, I just have to pivot. And when you are an adaptable employee, it shows that you are resourceful, you are determined, and you're productive because you're able to continue no matter what is happening. You are able to pivot to meet the challenge. And that's a key skill. Being a team player. Be an active member of the team. Respect all members of the team and appreciate what everyone brings to the table. As a manager, this is really important. I like my team to be able to communicate, to feel comfortable to share ideas, to share concerns, and to feel listened. And I have a privilege to work with a terrific team. You provide assistance. If there's a project and it's all hands on deck to help testing or help bring it in, everybody volunteers and tries to engage. You're collaborative. You like to work with people. You like to share ideas and get an objective met. Be kind. You have a sense of humor and you're positive. Also, it's investing in the team and making sure the team is a success. So that's what I look for a team player. You have initiative. Initiative, you're proactive. You are looking for improvement opportunities, not just for the team, not just for work, but also for yourself. So you want someone who's going to take initiative. You're researching, you're documenting, you're proposing, and you're prepared. But initiative is also looking at where you want your career to go and being able to say, okay, I want to take my career in this direction. What are the objectives? And take the initiative to have the conversation with your manager to say, this is something I'd like to focus on and see where those opportunities are. I've had terrific conversations with various team members and peers who have those conversations about where they want to switch to. Got to be a problem solver. And I think this is a key BA skill. You've got analytical skills, you're innovative, you're coming up with different solutions. It doesn't stop you. So you're resilient. So if you have a problem, you're going to continue on to figure out how to get over that. And you also communicate if there's a problem, and you're going to provide resolution options to management if they're available. I'm not saying you have to be able to solve everything, but it does help if someone comes to say, hey, there's this problem, we may have to pivot to do this. Just coming up with an option is a really good benefit, and it's really good for the team as well. The inclusivity. This one I feel is very important. It's appreciating and accepting differences, not just of age, gender, sexual orientation, race, or religion. It's also accepting differences in communication and leadership styles. And it's accepting without judgment. So everybody is different in their reactions, in their thoughts, in their feelings. So being inclusive also means understanding that and pivoting so that you are listening and you are understanding. So making sure that as a team member, as a BA, you are looking at this and understanding that, this person has a different leadership style. I have to kind of pivot to understand that and maybe switch. Like some people may be more detailed. Some people, might be a very just giving you an independent, just saying, here, let it, take this and run with it. And other leaders might be more, I need to watch you task by task. It's understanding that. And also accepting people are different communicators. And that's something that you have to look at and accept as well. These are other thoughts that I have that I've learned over the years. The first one is your health is your first priority. And this one is that if you are working in a situation or if you are for a person or any situation where your stress, health, mental health is a concern, rethink that, because your health is your first priority. And I think that is something that people tend to forget. There's this, old school kind of mentality that the more you work, the more late you are, like staying late at work and all this. That's kind of not the way it should be. And your health is your first priority. And remember that. Another thing is, don't say anything about your teammates that you wouldn't say to their face or want said about you. Constructive comments are acceptable. So basically, I put this in because I have seen teams break apart or be completely dysfunctional because there was strife in the team because of gossip, or it doesn't help the team. If it's not constructive, don't say it. Another thing is with change management, not everybody reacts the same way to various situations, and respect that. So you may feel that something is not a big deal, a change or whatever is not a big deal, and someone is having a very tough reaction to it. Listen to them, understand why that's happening. And you may feel opposite. You may think, wow, this is a big change, and you're stressed out about it. But other people are like, it's not a big deal. Voice your concern, but understand that, everyone reacts differently. One thing, don't get angry in work situations. It's not worth it, and react with initiative instead. If something comes up that totally, frustration, I get. Don't react angrily to someone. It is just not worth it, and it doesn't help teamwork. It doesn't help you. Don't promise what you can't deliver. If you're making estimates, try to make them as accurate as you can. I know they're still estimates, but don't try to promise something 4 weeks earlier if it's not 100% under your control. Be honest. Always be upfront and honest, and own up from your mistakes and learn from them. It's okay to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Own up to it, learn from it, and move forward. So these are basically just some things that I found over the years that help be a successful BA, and as a manager, what I'm looking for, those skills.